Hi, my name is Chad Shepard. I'm the CEO and founder of the MMA Matchmaker.com. I'm a 5th degree black belt, purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a retired pro MMA fighter. And like many of you guys that got started in martial arts, I got started at a very young age and wanted to make it my passion and didn't know how to do it. So I went through my life with various different jobs in marketing and sales and found myself eventually opening up a school in the martial arts industry and doing very well at it and finding my passion. And I found that not only was my passion teaching, but my passion was helping others. And in doing so, I kind of found the MMA world. And I found it by way of, by training in the martial arts, I decided, you know what, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. I want more. What can I do to do more? So I got started in MMA kind of at the ripe old age of 36 years old is when I got started. And I trained and I fought and I found some very interesting things out about the MMA industry and some things that could make it better and help it become a more thriving industry. Primarily for the young fighters, it's very difficult for them to have a job, hold a job, and become a professional martial arts fighter. So that is what helped me to develop the MMA Matchmaker. So the MMA Matchmaker is basically, it's a community. It's a community of fighters, promoters, and sponsors, all with the ability to find each other. So what happened to me was, by helping these MMA fighters, I wanted to give them a platform, somewhere where they could talk. So I started up a radio station, and it didn't give me quite the ability to give them the platform that they wanted. But what it did was it gave me some great contacts to MMA fighters, promoters, and sponsors. And what would happen is I would get bombarded by phone calls. Promoters looking for fighters, fighters looking for promoters, fighters looking for sponsors, sponsors looking for fighters, and I end up spending a tremendous amount of time on the phone trying to put these relationships together. And I realized there's a demand. There's a demand for putting these people together, which brought me to the MMA Matchmaker and creating an MMA community. Let me tell you how it's going to help each one of these areas on why you would want to be a part of this amazing MMA community. Fighters. Fighters are constantly looking for the best fights. They want to try and make a good record and a good name for themselves. They're trying to create a fan base. They're trying to get people to watch them and follow them. The MMA Matchmaker allows them a platform to create a bio, to create a profile that talks about their fights. They get to put their fights on it. They get to create a store in which they're able to sell their own product. And on top of that, they get rated by fighters, by promoters on how well they're doing on all those areas. Not to mention, they also get rated on how they do in a fight. Do they have heart? Do they have stamina? Do they show up on time? And all these things are rated within the MMA Matchmaker. They also can brand themselves, not just in a local market, but on a worldwide basis, putting themselves out there to all promoters and all sponsors all over the place. So this allows them to fight not just in their local area, but for promoters all over the place that are looking for a specific fighter. Promoters are constantly trying to put together the best fights. What happens with promoters is they usually know a demographic and area of fighters and fight camps. Once they've tapped into that market, they kind of don't have anywhere else to go. So what would happen is I would get a call where somebody needed a 170-pound fighter with a specific record, and they were tapped out. They didn't have any more contacts. So by being a part of the MMA Matchmaker, they can now put that out worldwide, and they can begin to attract fighters from all different markets and pull them in based upon them being a good fighter, not just based upon, hey, I need a fighter at 170, but let's actually put together a great fight. Because let's face it, fighters want the best competition, promoters want to have a good fight, and the fans want to see two good fighters fight together. So this benefits a lot of people. Sponsors, hey, sponsors, it's difficult for a fighter to find a sponsor because you never know who wants to sponsor a fighter, who wants to help pay their paycheck. Well, by creating an opportunity for sponsors to be on the MMA Matchmaker, they get the opportunity to decide, hey, this is what I want to do, and now I can start looking at fighters. I can not only see how they fight by watching their videos, but I can look at their profile and see how are they rated by the fans. How much product are they selling on their own personal store? That's the kind of guy that a sponsor wants. They want a go-getter. Not just somebody that fights well, but somebody that actually promotes themselves. So what the community of the MMA Matchmaker.com does is it brings all of these people together, allows them to find each other on a global basis, thus helping make this industry a better industry, keeping each other accountable for everything that they do. Promoters are rated on how well they do their functions, on how well they treat the fighters. Fighters are rated on how well they perform, and sponsors are rated on how well they take care of everybody as far as their fighters go. So it's going to help everybody, and it keeps everybody honest. It's a fantastic site, and I can't wait for you guys to be a part of our MMA community. We look forward to talking to you real soon.